What's up, everybody? Kato on the track. So today I'm going to make a beat and then I'm going to break down in sort of like a tutorial for all you producer nerds and junkies out there. I'm going to show you how I made the beat, break down some of my production tips, stuff like sound selection, mixing, all the important stuff that you need to know when it comes to production. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so here is the beat, the instrumental, and it's pretty simple. You know, I didn't go too crazy with adding all these extra layers and sounds. It's a very simple beat, but it has a lot of mood and it has some pretty cool dynamics. So I'll just go step by step and kind of break down each instrument and some of the effects and processing that I used so you guys can see how I put the beat together. So this entire beat started with this guitar loop, which I'll play for you. So really dope loop, and this loop is actually, you won't find this anywhere because it's from an unreleased sample pack that I'm working on, which will be dropping soon. But if you want to use this guitar loop for yourself, for your own track, you can download it absolutely for free. I put a download link in the description of the video, so you can go there, enter your email, and it'll go directly to your email. And I'll keep you posted on when the full sample pack drops so you can get first dibs. But back to the video. Okay, so it all started with that loop. And so let me take off some of the effects and processing, because that's what it sounds like with all the effects on there. So if you take off all the effects and processing, the EQing, this is actually what it sounds like. So still dope, obviously, but I wanted to kind of take off some of the harshness, control some of the dynamics. So I started off by just applying a high pass and a low pass filter. I wanted to warm up the tone a little bit. And then I did some simple EQing to take out some of the harshness and some of the presence. So right away you can hear that it just sounds more balanced. And then the last thing that I did was I just added some effects to give it more space and a little bit more airiness. So I added a delay using the echo and just a simple plate reverb. So after that, I felt like I just needed to emphasize the mood a little bit, add a little bit more mood, and nothing adds mood more than some chopped vocals. So I found this cool little vocal loop. I'm gonna turn off all the effects and processing so you can hear what it sounded like. And this was actually kind of a combination of different loops that I just put together. And I got these vocal loops off of Splice. So this is what it originally sounded like. So definitely a cool vibe, but I just feel like I wanted it to kind of have like an underwater, like that underwater type of feel, that vibe with a low pass filter. So added some effects. The Decimort 2 Bit Crusher is one of my favorite rack extensions, effects in Reason. So I turned that on, added a little bit of compression, and this will give it like that underwater effect, that low pass effect that I was looking for. So just by manipulating this frequency deviation knob, you can hear the effect that it has. And then from there, it was just a matter of a little bit of EQing. So I added a high pass and a low pass filter. Added some delay and some reverb. And that just filled it out, made it kind of more spacey. So let's switch this to all around. So combining that with the guitar loop, now you got the vibe. The vibe is definitely there. All it needs is some bass and a drum percussion track. The next instrument that I added was the bass line. And for this I used an 808 and I created the 808 pattern. Didn't really do too much in terms of effects, just did a tiny bit of EQing. So again, these high pass and low pass filters are like my go-to. It's such an easy way to just tweak each sound the way you want it without getting too crazy. It's just two knobs. So sounding nice. All it really needs now are some drums. Typically when I start my drums, I'll start with either the hi-hat or the snare first. I like to use the Kong drum designer.
Kato on the track, beer.
So those are all my kind of percussion drum sounds. Really all you need to do is just solo the main melody and have your drums loaded up. No hip hop track. I mean, this could really be a crossover track, like a Post Malone type vibe. But no hip hop track is right without some drum rolls. Next thing you need to add are some hi-hats. So with the open hi-hat, I just added a little tape echo. Because the whole key to this vibe, the vibe of the track, is to make it feel open, kind of airy, moody. And so by adding things like delay and reverb, you're really giving it that space. So that's where effects processing and that kind of stuff comes in. It's to kind of emphasize the mood of the track a little bit more. The next thing I added was like a reverse sweep effect. And with this, I actually put a filter on it to take off some of the highs. I wanted it to feel a little bit darker. Next little drum percussion element I added was just a little like soft snare with a lot of reverb. The only other missing element from the drum track was the kick. So that's the kick I chose. Let's take a look at some of the effects. Just some basic compression. So just enough to control the dynamics a little bit, but still give it that punch. I like to make sure that my kicks are centered in the middle of the mix. So I turn the width, stereo width, all the way down, just in case. And a little, again, going back to the high pass, low pass filter, taking off anything below about 30, 31 hertz, and then shaving off anything above 1.41 kilohertz, so that the kick is a little bit darker, not too bright. Now the last thing that I felt like the track needed was a soft pad, something to kind of emphasize the chords and the melodic portion of the track. And this was using the grain rack extension. And this was actually just a preset in the Reason sound bank. And some of the, just added a little bit of compression to it. And that was just enough. That's all I think it needed. And from there, it sounded pretty full. Just needs some vocals. Hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial. Again, if you want to download the guitar loop that I used in this instrumental, go to the description of the video. You can download it absolutely for free, and I'll keep you posted on when that full sample pack drops so that you can cop it. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought of the video, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.